This is Chancellor Zabanda with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. UTM distances itself from supporters' presence at ACB offices as party senior member continues to face interrogation on alleged corruption charges. MEC defers by-elections in 2 constituencies due to COVID-19. Ministry of Agriculture looking into farmers' concerns on shocking fertilizer market prices. And in sports, hiring of new national netball coaches awaits new NAMA executive. We now give you the news in detail. Minister of Energy Newton Kambala, Presidential Advisor on Strategy Chris Chaimabanda, and President for the Alliance for Democracy Afford Enoch Chihana are still in police custody as the Anti-Corruption Bureau is yet to conclude interrogating them. The trio were arrested on Monday in connection to suspected flouting of procedures in awarding of fuel contracts at the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA. And on Tuesday afternoon, UTM supporters stormed ACB offices to give the arrested officials more support, but the party condemned the activity. Winston Kaimira reports.
First to be interrogated by the Anti-Corruption Bureau was Presidential Chief Strategy Advisor Chris Chaimabanda. After about 2 hours of the exercise, it was the turn of Minister of Energy Newton Kambala and President for the Alliance for Democracy Afford Enoch Chihana. Some UTM supporters were present in the morning to give more support to Kambala, who is a senior member of the party, but they later left the place after being ordered to do so by the party, according to its spokesperson Frank Minifumbo.
This is a very independent institution which is supposed to discharge its duties independently. Coming here in party colors may seem to be influencing or giving duress to the work of the ACB. This is why I have appealed to all our UTM supporters to no longer come and gather at the Anti-Corruption Bureau offices.
However, Afford supporters remained at the site. The 3 will spend a second night in a police cell. They were arrested in connection to matters bordering on awarding of fuel procurement contracts at the National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA. Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiac in Lilongwe.
The Human Rights Defenders Coalition, HRDC, and a political commentator have welcomed the arrest of 3 senior officials in the Tonse-led administration by the ACB. The 3, Minister of Energy Newton Kambala, Presidential Aide Chris Chaimabanda, and Afford leader Enoch Chihana were picked on Monday in connection with the fuel supply deal at NOCMA. On the other hand, Director of Communications at State House Sean Kampondeni says President Chakwera is following the developments with keen interest and will certainly take action. John Pokayuna reports.
Different quarters of the society have reacted on the arrest of 3 top officials in the Tonse Alliance administration by the Anti-Corruption Bureau ACB on alleged corruption in the fuel supply deals at National Oil Company of Malawi, NOCMA. The 3, Minister of Energy Newton Kambala, President Chakwera's Chief Advisor on Strategy Chris Chaimabanda, and Enoch Chihana, President of Alliance for Democracy Afford, a party in the Tonse Alliance. Political analyst Dr. Mustafa Hussein says this is an indication that the graft-busting body has started acting on corrupt officials in senior government positions, which was not the case previously.
I think it's a positive development, a sign that the ACB, which all along has been regarded as a toothless bull, is now trying to, or is showing that it can bite. It may act as a deterrent to other senior officials who might want to indulge in corrupt activities.
Chairperson for the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, HRDC, Gift Trappist, while commending ACB for the move, says the arrests alone are not enough, but successful convictions is what Malawians expect.
Arresting someone is something else. It's just a suspect. You cannot conclude that someone is guilty by just arresting them. I think what Malawians would want to see is that if someone has been arrested, the cases in court should be won.
State House Director of Communications Sean Kampondeni says President Chakwera takes this as a serious issue but will respond when he gets official communication from ACB.
Believes that the allegations leveled against them are serious and very grave. He is looking forward to receiving the official communication from the Anti-Corruption Bureau, on the basis of which the President will be able to make a determination.
This is the second time for ACB to pounce on a cabinet minister, the first being the arrest of former Minister of Education Yusuf Mwawa in the late Bingu wa Mutharika administration. For Zodiac, this is John Paul Kayuni.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has deferred by-elections in Nkhotakota North East and Dedza Central East constituencies and in Chimwalire Ward in Balaka due to current trends in COVID-19. MEC spokesperson Sangwani Mufrira has told us that a stakeholders meeting which was held on Monday, parties agreed to defer the by-elections and that they will notify the Speaker of Parliament. Centre for Multi-Party Democracy (CMD), a representation of political parties, says they have agreed to the proposition. Andrew Viana has filed this report. The Ministry of Local Government has encouraged councils to motivate the youth and women to venture into elective leadership in order to achieve accelerated local governance and development. Speaking during the commemoration of African Decentralization Day in Blantyre on Tuesday, Deputy Minister of Local Government Halima Daudi thinks this can assist to curb corruption in councils. Christopher Sunday reports.
Officials from Ministry of Local Government, ward councillors from different districts, and young people across the country gathered at Blantyre City Council offices on Tuesday to commemorate African Decentralization Day. Deputy Minister of Local Government Halima Daudi has encouraged the councils to motivate the youth and women to venture into elective leadership in order to achieve accelerated local governance and development. Daudi thinks this can assist to curb corruption in the councils.
Anybody found misusing the funds in the local councils, the law will take its course, because that money is for the people of Malawi, not for somebody, not for an individual. So as government, we're trying our best to make sure that there's no corruption in our councils.
Meanwhile, President of Malawi Local Government Association, MAGA, World Indipo, has since asked for prudence in various councils in the management of public resources.
But if at all there is corruption in that state, we are handling it in the councils, and you've seen that. That's why we have councillors and we have everybody working as a team. Where there is disintegration is where I notice maybe a lot of anomalies. But in the unity of councils, the secretariat and the political side, you will notice that some of these are even unearthed by ourselves within the municipalities.
The country's theme for African Decentralization Day is mobilize the energy of the youth and boost the contribution of cultural and creative industries in job creation in terms of heritage and culture. Reporting for Zodiac from Blantyre, this is Christopher Sunday.
The Association of People with Albinism in Malawi has made a fresh call to communities for a concerted effort in ending killings and abductions of persons with albinism. APAM Acting National Coordinator Maynard Zagaria says there is need to strengthen district albinism committees with an aim of sensitizing communities on albinism. Steve Kalongo reports from Neno.
Maynard Zakaria says his organization is worried with continued attacks on people with albinism. The APAM Acting National Coordinator says there is a need to equip district committees with knowledge of albinism for community sensitization. He was speaking on Tuesday in Neno District when APAM had an interface meeting with its district committees. Neno District APAM Coordinator Sharif Ntwaya lamented lack of housing and access to loans as some of the challenge the albinism community is facing in the district. For Zodiac in Neno, this is Steve Kalungwe.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Sompenya amalawi watukula malawi 2063 ufika 2063 kale wokomera aliyense achinyamata tikwirane manja tukula malawi achinyamata tikale patsogolo tukula malawi 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 wosimira Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense. Malawi.
Welcome back. The headlines as we continue with the news. UTM distances itself from supporters' presence at ACB offices as senior party member continues to face interrogation on alleged corruption charges. MEC defers by-elections in 2 constituencies due to COVID-19. Ministry of Agriculture looking into farmers' concerns on shocking fertilizer market prices. And in sports, hiring of new national netball coaches awaits new NAM executive. Moving on with the news, Minister of Agriculture says still engaging relevant authorities on concerns by farmers in the country over rising prices of fertilizer. Some of the farmers that have spoken to Zodiak said this would negatively affect planning for this year's planting season on crops regarded as main forex earner. Spokesperson in the Ministry of Agriculture, Gresham Lungu, said the ministry is consulting on how best to assist the farmers. Mike Nkemezul has filed this report.
The rising prices of fertilizer on the market continue to worry many farmers in the country. For example, the prices are as high as 36,000 kwacha per 50 kg bag. According to some farmers Zodiak has spoken to, this is a worrisome development and a recipe for food insecurity. Ronald Zimba and Martin Chisikwa have pleaded with government for its intervention.
Actually, the rising price of razor, I'm very shocked. It has affected me wide regret on my plans as I do farming to sustain my life on every day. I would like to urge the government to deploy other necessary means so that the rising fertilizer should be dropped down.
Spokesperson for the Minister of Agriculture, Gresham Lungu, said the ministry is still engaging relevant stakeholders so that they can find lasting solutions on the matter.
We are very optimistic that once we exhaust all these other stages which we like to have or to undertake in regards to fertilizer prices, automatically we will come to conclusion and see where the things are going wrong and how we can make a decision that can be favorable to the farmers themselves.
Since May, the price of fertilizer has been going up due to the general increase of price of goods and services on the global market.
The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has asked Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining to submit within 7 days all missing documentation in the 2019 Auditor General's report, which revealed that 147 million kwacha was not accounted for at the ministry. Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba says failure to make available the missing documents is against public finance management procedures. Alinafe Mlambas filed this report.
Auditor General's report of 2019 revealed that the Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining failed to account for over 147 million kwacha. The report also revealed that payment vouchers amounting to 51 million kwacha were not submitted to the Auditor General's office. Some items, including fuel, were not recorded, misallocation of expenditure and misuse of project funds, among others. This was revealed Tuesday when the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament summoned officials from the ministry. Chairperson for the committee, Shadrack Namalomba, has since given the ministry a 7-day ultimatum to rectify the anomalies.
2 of the 12 audit queries were not resolved. They have been referred for further reporting. What it means that they must go back and provide the correct information. We have agreed with them that within 7 days they will write back to give us the exact information. One particular situation was a payment voucher which was dated beyond the date of the check. Now, common sense.
Director of Administration for the ministry, Hilary Namainja, said the missing documents were misplaced, but was quick to say that the ministry will work on retrieving them.
We will try as much as possible to make sure that within the 7 days we come up with the required information that the our committee has requested, and we are sure that we will be able to do the same.
The decision by the parliamentary committee comes amid growing accusations of misappropriation of funds in the public sector.
The Directorate of Road Traffic and Safety Services, DTRSS, has intensified its campaign of training Kabanza motorcycle operators in order to get them registered. Road Traffic spokesperson Angelina Makweja told Zodiak on Monday in Mzuzu that the exercise will help in reducing high numbers of road accidents involving the operators and make it easier for law enforcement agencies to regulate the operators. Nomsa Zimbas filed this report.
Directorate of Road Traffic and Safety Services, in conjunction with Malawi Police, have started conducting sensitizations across the country where, among others, they intend to equip motorcyclists with knowledge on how to operate on the road, how to register motorcycles, and get licensed. Speaking to Zodiak, spokesperson for the Directorate, Angelina Makweja, says this will help regulate motorcyclists easily by equipping them with knowledge and information on the registration, licensing, and road rules.
Much as our safety is our number one priority, the main purpose of this sensitization exercise is to enlighten the cabs operators on registration of their motorcycles and licensing of the operators.
Commenting on the sensitization, spokesperson for Mzuzu Police Potembo says this will help reduce crime rate in the city as most robbers use motorcyclists at night since they are cheap, saying this may as well reduce road accidents as the motorcyclists have been taught road rules.
One, it will help in crime reduction. As you may be aware that most criminals at night use these motorcycle taxi operators because they are cheap to move from one place to the other as they do their criminal activity. Number two, it will also help them not to be involved in road accidents as it has been for a number of years behind. They have been taught how best to use the road, so we expect that to reduce road accidents.
And in sports news, the hiring of a permanent head coach and an assistant for the national netball team awaits input from the new executive committee for the Netball Association of Malawi now. Director of Sports in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Jameson Dalama, has confirmed that the previous NAM administration proposed for 2 positions and the Human Resources Department is reviewing the proposal. Sambanda reports.
The previous Netball Association of Malawi regime, led by former President Kungekire Madise Matia, submitted the proposal to government last year on the basis that lack of a full-time technical staff for the Malawi Queens affected proper transition. Director of Sports in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Jameson Ndalama, has confirmed the proposal is currently in the Human Resources Department for a review on its viability. Ndalama says now that NAM has a new administration, the process of hiring a permanent head coach and an assistant for the Malawi Queens will need their input.
We meet them, confirm if what was submitted by the outgoing committee, if they are in agreement with that, or they have other proposals. Government recruits or employs millions or thousands of people, so it cannot fail to do that. However, it looks at the job description, the viability of the positions requested, as long as the services expected are in agreement and in the government expectation.
NAM General Secretary Isaac Chimwala says the issue will be followed once proper handovers have been completed with the previous authorities.
Basically, the first thing is that we need to do the handovers. We're planning that within the week we should be through with the handovers. I know that the same was presented before the government, and the government is ready to move on with hiring coach for the Queens, coach and their assistant. Definitely we have to meet the government and agree on timelines. You will agree with me, time is not on our side. We have to make sure that we engage a coach as soon as possible.
Currently, the technical team is led by Peace Chawinga Kalua, who was hired temporarily, succeeding late Griffin Saenda.
And that's about what we had time for in this news edition. Before we go, a look at the headlines. UTM distances itself from supporters' presence at ACB offices as senior party member continues to face interrogation on alleged corruption charges. MEC defers by-elections in 2 constituencies due to COVID-19. Minister of Agriculture looking into farmers' concerns on shocking fertilizer market prices. And in sports, hiring of new national netball coaches awaits new NAM executive. Visit our website zodiacmalawi.com for more news. My name is Chansi Mwazabanda. Thanks for watching.
UNICAF University celebrates the success of 222 students from 49 different countries who have graduated after completing their bachelor's and master's degrees online.
Studying with the UNICAF University was for me, during those 2 past years, the biggest opportunity to grow.
My immediate experience has been obtaining a much better job.
Studying online, I was able to complete my assignments without compromising my career.
It's a space that was convenient in terms of learning, that had highly professional tutoring and high standard learning content.
The great platform they provided for me enabled me to study even when work.
I made it, yes I did, and I encourage Liberian professionals to take advantage and get on board UNICAF.
Get all the latest news